Ladies and gentlemen, please join me real quick as we go back in time all the way to January 28th, 2015, where possibly one of the most infamous FNAF fan games would ever be released. I'm talking about none other than One Night at Flumpty's by the developer Jonochrome. If you have no idea about what this game is, I'll give you a slight summary before we get truly in depth. In this game, we are simply a kidnapped person brought into a dimension where we have to battle a basic god that decides to take the personality of a egg named Flumpty. In fact, when he opens up the very first time you play, he says,
Hi, I'm Flumpty Bumpty. I'm an egg. I'm immune to the plot and I can transcend time and space. Also, I'm coming after you. You can figure out the rest. Have fun.
already with this single phrase being said to us at the very beginning with no other notes of how to play, we are simply told that he's doing this as a game with us. He knows that we're trapped here. And honestly, I'm going to get more into this because I find this amazing. Now, I am going to real quick pause and say, I am taking a lot of liberties with my breakdown here. I am going to be separating the art from the artist. I do know about Jonochrome having a lot of drama regarding him. He is very infamous in the FNAF universe. So, with this being said, if you have an issue with this, I do apologize. And if you want to know more about the drama, you can go into the description and I will have videos linked to where you can actually find out about the dramas. But I am simply looking at his games in this entire One Night at Flumpty series just to figure out if they are good in today's standards. Now, with this being said, let's get into the very first game. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right on into none other than the very first One Night at Flumpty's. That's right, I said one night. We're not doing this 5 nights, we're simply here for one simple night. We just gotta make it 6 a.m. and supposedly we'll be let go. So, what exactly happens? Because normally, through the 5 Nights franchise, you get introduced every single night to a brand new threat. How's that gonna work here? Well, it's very simple. With the hour system, we're going to be introduced to a new threat about every 1 to 2 hours. And this is actually going to come in very handy. So you might be wondering, what is there exactly to be going after us? Well, there's actually 6 different people. Well, I'm going to be honest, there's actually 7. So let's go one by one and we'll simply go over them as they actually become available. The very first person to be coming after us is none other than Flumpty. That's right, we immediately start with the Chaos God. See, the Chaos God here decides to act basically like this version's Bonnie, the probably most aggressive, genuinely. He's going to start on camera 1. He'll make his way to camera 4, and it's at this point it gets a little bit weird. See, this is where we get to see a lot of the power from Flumpty, where he can basically teleport all the way to camera 2A. From here, he's also able to just go straight to our door on our left side. But with Flumpty, we get a little bit of breathing room, quite literally. He only attacks the left side, so really we don't even have to watch him. Just keep a little bit of eyes on our doors and we'll be perfectly fine. So, who's the second person that gets introduced to us? That is Birthday Boy Blam, who's actually on camera 1 with Flumpty. Blam here is actually a little bit meaner, is basically this version's Chica as well. He's going to start on cam 1, make his way to cam 4, and then to 2B. From there, he'll also go to our right side. So, we already know who these people are based off of, how to get rid of them. Not that hard. It's only going to be these two until about 2 o'clock, so make it through 2 hours and you'll be a-okay. After it reaches 2 o'clock, we get introduced to the very next person, none other than the Beaver, who's actually found on camera 6, taking quite literally a dump. In case you're wondering who exactly is the Beaver is basically this version's Foxy, where he's going to constantly be using the toilet paper that's right next to him, and when it runs out, he's going to put down his newspaper. Once he does this, this is his signal that he's going to be running after you soon. When he leaves camera 6, click on camera 2B, and that will indicate that he's running towards you. Get out your camera system and close the right door, and bada bing bada boom, you ain't got to worry about him no more. So, already 3 people in, Very easy to get done with. Who's next? The next person that we get introduced to is none other than Grunklefuss. Quite literally one of the most annoying people there is. And it's actually two people in one. We get introduced to Grunklefuss and Eyesore. However, Eyesore is not really credited in any of the fandom stuff if you go looking, so I'm being kind of liberal with this one. It's very strange. Grunkle Fuss is simply to make sure you don't flip your camera up and down way too many times. In fact, if you want to know how many times you can or can't flip up your camera, just simply go to Cam 5 and you'll see eyeballs. This is actually eyesore. If you count how many eyes there are, that's how many times you can open and close your camera without being killed by Grunklefuss. So, all you have is 2 hours left, and you'll make it. Not that hard to keep from doing his jump scare. However, in the other mode of this game, hard boiled mode, it gets a little bit harder. Alright, so we just got introduced to 4 and 5. Who's the last two people of this entire game? Well, it's very simple. We get introduced to none other than Redman, who spawns on camera 3. Now, believe it or not, Redman can only attack your left side. But it gets a little strange, because you won't ever be able to see Redman on the cameras. All you know is that your cameras get completely knocked out. It's just a black screen. And you get here a little bit of static. So, why does this matter? It matters because other characters can hide on the cameras with Redman. I mean, if, let's say, he's on 2A, you won't know if it's just him or him and Flumpty. Meaning, it could be a death trap if you ever open up your door after one of them leaves, and you'll have to start all the way over. But do not fret. Redman is probably the third easiest, at least in the normal mode. If you play the hardboiled mode, which I'll get into, he is immediately active and becomes a literal pain. So, who is this very last one? It is none other than Golden Flumpty. Of course, we had normal Freddy and Five Nights at Freddy's. We need a golden version, you know. So we have Golden Flumpty, which do not fret, all you have to do is put your camera up. Which once again, I think goes kind of with the Grunklefuss way of dealing with everything. Forcing you to open and close your cameras, therefore causing an eyeball to disappear, therefore Grunklefuss gets even closer. I think all three characters together make for a very unique and very fun gameplay mechanic. So, with this getting completely done with the game, let's go straight into a little bit of clips with the actual gameplay. It feels like there should be secrets, and I feel like I'm not getting them. And this is Flumpty when he's sleeping. And this is a cigar boy. I don't know what he is, but he doesn't make a sound. Okay, Flumpty, you just... Flumpty? Huh? Huh? He didn't go through any of the cameras. No cameras, just straight door. What? No phone call. Nothing. He went straight from asleep to in my face. That was straight gas. No phone call. I don't know. Okay, where did he go? How? You go from this camera to here. You said that space and time and stuff goes beyond you. That you are the master of this little world. That does not excuse your god-awful writing. You jump from yay camera to here. This might be a game, but we will not excuse what that was. At all. Look at them being friendly. Look at them. One of them just tried moving, and I guess failed. Flumpty. Mr. Flumper. Where'd you go, my friend? There. Will you attack? Finally. I don't understand the clown. What does the clown do? Not gonna even attempt. He's getting closer.
Honk, honk.
Let me honk. Let me honk his nose. Let me bash his brains in with a hammer.
Honk.
Let me, I don't know. He's got two perfectly good holes right there. Just let me do something to the clown. I don't like the clown. Don't know what that was. I don't want to know. Ah, no. It's not enough. Maybe. No.
Honk, honk. Bark, 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 bark.
Maybe? Maybe I can last. Maybe. Come on. 6 a.m. Yes! Ham? Flumpty Bumpty got me one time. Boy Blam, Cigar Man, that's who it was. The beaver never got me. I got lucky there. Only seen Red Man once. Grunkfuzz the Clown got me pretty good. I never seen Golden Floaty. De-egged. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. That is the completion of the very first One Night at Flumpty's game. Now, believe it or not, I did say I was going to talk about the hard-boiled mode. Now, hard-boiled mode is none other than basically the 2020 version, where everything is immediately activated. And I'll be honest, I never completed hard-boiled mode. Why? Due to one simple, well, major thing. I didn't have enough power. I got a 5 a.m. one time, and I just decided to call it there. Honestly, as a person that's not good at all with FNAF games, I took this as a complete and utter accomplishment. So, what exactly is there after this? Well, for that, we'll have to go to none other than the second game. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are at none other than One Night at Flumpty's 2. Now, believe it or not, this game is widely accepted as one of the better games in the One Night at Flumpty series. Unfortunately, I kind of have to agree with everybody. One Night at Flumpty's 2 is honestly number one in the entire series. And that's before we even talk about the very last one. So, what exactly is so good about this game? How many enemies are there? And what is the new elements of this game that gets brought to us? One Night at Flumpty's 2 has none other than 7 new enemies, and one of them is completely new. As for the rest of them are simply brought in from the very first game. And actually one of them's fully represented in this one. As for in the first game, they were just simply a background character. So, what else does this game bring to us? Well, it's got 3 new and honestly very well done ways of playing this game. I'm talking about none other than the light switch, the laptop battery, and the vents. See, this game does something that I wish Five Nights at Freddy's 2 had done, where we have vent doors. And you might be wondering, why exactly do we have vent doors? Well, that's our very first enemy we are going to be talking about. Say hello to the owl. The owl will be on None Other than camera 3, to which we will be able to see him resting on a urinal. After a certain time, the owl is going to look up, and then he will disappear. He will go on either camera 5 or camera 4. These are our vent cameras, and whichever one we see him on is him coming to attack us. We must close said door to make sure we don't immediately die. I should state, in this game, he is the only one that will immediately kill you. Now you might be a little confused about that. What about the other people when they get to the office? Well, it's none other than an exposure meter. See, we're playing a game of hide and seek, basically. Or red light, green light is very hard to tell. When any of our people get to our office, they are going to simply look at us, raise up our exposure meter enough, and then they will kill us. So how exactly do we keep from this exposure meter immediately going all the way to max? It is none other than a light switch, which actually is a good slash bad thing. Allow me to explain. The laptop slash camera system that we have in this game will slowly or very quickly run out of power. When somebody comes to the office and we have to turn out the lights, our cameras will not recharge at all until the lights are back on. This is kind of stressful in high stress situations where you're juggling a lot of people. But do not worry, because there's actually a couple people that are very easy to deal with. For example, Flumpty. Flumpty is one of the most forgiving characters out of everyone. Flumpty, when he gets to our office, is going to play a game of peekaboo, giving us a couple seconds to actually react to him, and his exposure meter charge up is the slowest out of everybody. Second to easiest is actually Birthday Boy Blam, as Birthday Boy Blam will immediately just start looking at us when he shows up. However, he has probably the second slowest exposure meter charge ups, making him so easy to deal with that we were actually able to kind of tank through a lot of his hits. So, with those two immediately done, you might be wondering just how do they move. Well, they actually move in basically a circle pattern, completely through the cameras just getting to us. Whereas Flumpty goes counterclockwise, Birthday Boy Blam goes clockwise. You'll be able to see them in the same three cameras over and over and over. Those cameras being none other than 6, 3, and 7. Flumpty is going to start on 3, staring at the camera. He'll then go to 6, and then he'll immediately be at our office. Birthday Boy Blam will be at 6. He'll go to 3, and then he'll go to 7, and then he'll be at our office. Well, there we go. We just explained 3 people. I want to take a small little break to talk about the fourth one because I never died to him, I'll be honest. I'm talking about Redman. I want to completely apologize to Redman as he almost gets left behind. He's honestly just a virus in this game that is the easiest to get rid of. You flip up your cameras when a signal shows up, the flashing exclamation mark, which would have signaled the puppet in the FNAF games, and all you do is hit cancel on him. He's not hidden on any cameras, he's not making his way to the office. You just flip up your camera and hit cancel. I want justice for my boy Redman, I'll be honest.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out.
Alright, there's 4 out of 7. Who's the other 2? Well, Grunklefuss is back, and in this game, he actually has something called a patience meter, which is going to very quickly run all the way down. Once it does, he's going to pop out of a hole that he makes in the Declaration of Independence. I'm not lying. He's going to pop through, and he will have the second fastest exposure charge ups, meaning you have to constantly be ready to turn off your lights to prevent this. He was one of the main reasons my laptop battery died so much because I was watching his timer go down. Alright, so realize I said second fastest. Who is the fastest? That is none other than my boy Eyesore, who's finally talked about in this game. See, Eyesore is going to start at the very top left camera. He's going to climb out of the pits of hell and make his way to our office by going to 3 and then to 6. Once he's at our office, you better have them lights off. As for any seconds of it not working or them not being off, he's going to immediately kill you. I wish I was lying. It's almost an instant death. Well, there's the 2 quickest killers of this entire series. Who's the very last person? Oh, well, that is none other than Golden Flumpty. See, Golden Flumpty in this game is going to also charge up your exposure meter, but honestly, it's just a quick little camera flip up and you'll immediately get rid of him. Or simply do the power. So there we go. I just explained all the new mechanics and a lot of the core stuff with all of our characters. So why exactly is this game so loved? Well, it's due to the simple fact of how it goes to be played. With your very first time playing through before you can unlock hardboiled mode, which does make a return, this game immediately shows you love. You learn a lot more of the core details, and you also get a phone call, which you can hear every single time, and you will know exactly what to do. The more you play, the more you realize some things might be scripted, meaning it's not going to change, making it to where all you gotta do is get through the nights. You also learn little tips and tricks to make it a little bit better. For the owl, you can stall just by not choosing the vent that he's actually using. When it comes to Grunklefuss, you will just have to make sure that you look at his patience around like 500 and then just get lucky. But let's get into some clips.
Welcome one and all the Flumpty Bumpties. If your lights turned off, then you're safe. If your lights are on, they'll come find you and rip you a brand new face.
I like that instead of a phone call, it's just a song. Is it bad that I like the classical music? Dumbass owl. I feel like he's about to attack. Haha! I knew it! I turned it off! Okay. Get out of here. That's dumb. I waited on him. I got that what seemed perfectly. Okay. I don't quite understand, but okay, I'm good at doing blams. The clown should also. Yes! 2 for 1. Perfect. Okay, so you can't get rid of exposure. That is unfortunate. Got very lucky there. Okay, there's one. Where's the clown? Clown. There we are. Perfect. Leave. Isn't it bad I feel bad for the owl? Oh, Jesus. Okay, back to back. Where's Clown? Come on, Clown. Clown. Knew it. Get out of here. I also don't quite understand. What was that? Clown, get out of here. What are you? You're an eyesore, that's right. It must take a lot of sunglasses. Clown we are. I don't get why we keep getting him. Second try. Second. Starring Flumpty Bumpty. Birthday Boy Blam. Okay, this time they added birthday. The Owl. Grunkfuss the Clown, who kills you way too quick. Red Man, who didn't do much. Eyesore was pretty cool looking. Golden Flumpty, which showed up a lot more than it felt like it should. Hey, Blam, clown. There we are. And Eyesore. Perfect 3. Yeah. Blam's next. Come on, Blam. Clown and Blam. Jesus. Clown should be next. Okay. Owl didn't leave. Owl didn't leave. That was risky. That was risky. Risk. That was a huge risk. Come on, we're at 5. Give it to me. Come on. Please. Blam, get out here. Woo! Take that. I knew we had it. Kidnapped person wins Flumpty Bumpty's game. After countless citizens, a new dork have been abducted by mysterious Flumpty Dumpty to play his survival hide-and-seek game. One has bested Flumpty and earned the privilege of becoming Flumpty's new best friend, allegedly. Flumpty has constructed a skinless, many-headed monster out of the corpses of his game's unfortunate past contestants. Oh. Jonochrome here. I'm very thankful for the response One Night at Flumpty's received, and without the support of Five Nights at Freddy's community, I would never have made a sequel. While I don't want to linger on making FNAF fan games, I had a lot of fun with these projects. It's been a great learning experience, and I've met some really wonderful people. Scott Dawson, thank you for being such a huge inspiration to me and so many others. Best wishes to you, sir. Flumpty once broke into a man's house because he was cooking an egg. Flumpty was voluntarily arrested for breaking and entering just so he could escape prison. It is written in some node script, Sacred scroll, that Flumpty once presented a heartfelt speech about the importance of life and then promptly shot a passing stranger in the face. The stranger did not survive. Now Pop Goes. So, I found Pop Goes. Issue. There's like 6 different things to download. So, that one's going to have to wait. The third one and the fourth one I did find. There's a lot of stuff on these side ones. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to swallow a human body? I mean an entire baby, all at once. It's totally doable if you have a big enough mouth. Would the baby die from suffocation or stomach acid first? A live baby would probably be pretty brutal to the intestines. That is legit a part of this. It is this one in the corner, right underneath my webcam. Like, at the very bottom. That is what that says. So what my webcam, the one that it's covering, Thorax-infested fever dream, skin to the left cerebral of a happy-go-lucky printing unit smokes pot like a dingo dog in a trailer park. Welfare in the welfare in the Stone Age was less than, I can't say that word, rice cake, but more than tennis. Entry to the mouth soon is forbidden to everybody except explosive tongues. That was just gibberish. That was about eating a baby. This one at the bottom is talking about a man getting his house broken into because he was cooking an egg. The top one is talking about how Flumpty was giving a speech about how important life is and then shooting a man. This one is Jonochrome talking about how he's thankful of everybody. And then this one here, yesterday Flumpty killed approximately 100 billion birds with one stone. That stone was a meteorite, and yesterday was the apocalypse. I don't get this game. I don't understand. Hey, we have a star. Okay, and if you click on the star, you get to read the thing again. Okay. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right on into this portion of the video. Now, in case you are wondering, I'm going to be very hypocritical of this part. Why? Well, it's very simple. I simply could not care less for One Night at Flumpty's 3. It feels like Jonochrome completely rushed this game, as if he had just hated doing it. Instead of how most people do a series where the last one's one that they want to put all their effort into, this one feels more like he did it just to do it to end the series. When it comes to One Night at Flumpty's 3, it's actually a lie. I wish I was lying, but there's actually two nights. There's the normal night where we get introduced to Grunkle Fuss, who we should not flash, Bam, who we should flash, the Bevowl, who's going to apparently come back from the depths of hell, which is a hot tub, to which we have to flash. We have a temperature bar, so we have to go heat up next to a furnace, which is where we gotta watch out for Red Man. And then Eyesore, who we have to put down our camera to check down a hallway to make sure he's not there right at us. Not to mention that starting at 4 a.m., if you see Golden Flumpty on your camera, you should not put it down. Well, at least while on the same cam as Golden Flumpty. You do this, you're immediately going to begin to freeze even faster. It's going to knock down your temperature bar all the way to its ending point, meaning whatever it was you were planning on doing, you gotta wait. Alright, so y'all might be wanting a little bit more in depth. So let's get a little bit more in depth. Bam is going to be our very first person to come and attack us. He's going to start all the way at none other than Cam 1. Go to Cam 2, come Cam 5, and then he'll be right there in our hallway. Clown's going to start on 6, go to 3, then he's going to go to 2, and then he's going to go to 5. Then he'll be in our hallway. The way that they work is Grunkle Fuss is not like the camera flash, which we have 20 to begin our night. If you flash him, he'll immediately kill you. The way that we know this is due to the sign in his room. So, you might be wondering, what exactly do we do about Redman? Because I mentioned him. Well, simple. He's actually on Cam 4, which is basically a pit of hell right behind our furnace. And Redman gets closer and closer to this portal to enter our furnace. Once he does, we should stay away. You can actually check Cam 4 when he's over there, and it will change his point of view to the furnace and simply say stay away. Alright, well, what about our, final person to talk about, Bevowl? Bevowl is actually kind of the easiest. You will see them crawl out of the hot tub. They will then begin going from Cam 3 to Cam 7. You'll actually be able to see them get closer and closer and closer. And as soon as they leave Cam 7, they are right to our right, which we have to go turn, walk over there to them, and then flash them. I will say the core parts of this game, going from one part of a room to another part of a room, having to deal with fighting on every side of us. I actually like. Jonochrome did a very good job with that. He also did a very good job with designing this game. It looks amazing. I simply feel like this game was rushed just to try and end the series, and that does not show any better than the very ending of this game, which is the Flumpty Night. That is where all my criticism is. But let's go over a couple little clips before we actually go talking about the Flumpty Night. Ah. Okay, I just messed up. Oh, that! Okay, so when he's there... Yep. Uh-oh. What happened there? Whew. What? Oh, God. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to talk about none other than One Night at Flumpty's 3, the Flumpty Night. I really wish I could say this night is at least a little bit enjoyable, but the only decent thing I can think of is the single fact that it has qualities of all the games. It has amazing artwork. However, amazing artwork can only take you so far. When it comes to this game, there is simply too much BS. I wish I was lying. See, in this game, you have your normal Flumpty who's going to take the role of Bam, basically. You're also going to have one that takes about the same amount as Beval, who's going to crawl out of a hot tub, go into camera 7, which as soon as you look on camera 7, acts a little bit more like the owl did in One Night at Flumpty's 2, where as soon as you click on it, it's coming to you. So I think you can do a little bit of stalling there, but not much. So you have 25 flashes, and this is for everything throughout the entire night. Well, where else does this get BS? Well, Flumpty also turns into none other than the Red Man, so we still have our temperature bar. Well, what else? Well, you might be seeing in the map currently that there's two empty blocks that get filled up by 8A and 8B. That is right. We also have doors that we have to take care of, while there's a random Flumpty in one of them, which you have to flash to try and figure out, hey, is there something there currently? Now, okay, does not seem like too much. Oh, do not fret. We have somebody doing the original Grunklefuss at One Night Flumpty's 2 method. Oh, well, what does that mean exactly? Oh, it is none other than the single fact that there's a patience meter on them. As soon as they show up, you have to flash them, as if they are staring at you too long, they will kill you. Oh, you want something else? We have the very original Grunklefuss method, which means however many times you put up your cameras how many times this little clown Clumpty gets closer. Oh, you want more? Well, do not fret. We're going to add on 3 brand new cameras where the power system can end up being shut off from afar by another Flumpty. I wish I was lying. This all gets introduced to you in one night. Oh, and cameras, such as camera A and camera B, can end up flipping just randomly. There's no rhyme or reason to half of the stuff in this game. However, you might be wondering, what happens if you beat it? I simply cannot tell you. I am showing you the entirety of my run at this current moment. I can tell you now I did not beat this. However, I will show you what happens if you beat it due to the simple fact of somebody else's footage. I am going to give credit to them, so if you go into the description, you'll immediately see where you can actually go to find their run and also how they beat it. But the only good news is that once you beat the first night, you don't have to beat it again. Meaning you can attempt the Flumpty night as many times as you'd like. I don't know why you would want to do that. But let's get into a couple of the clips from my attempts.
What? He came from the door on the right. We're gonna pop a Diet Coke. We're gonna do this. Yeah, okay. That's what we do. There's so much. Can we all agree, real quick, how much bullshit that was? You have cameras flipping. You add on 3 more cameras on top of the 2 new ones, so we have 5 new cameras. There is a total of 4 things that can kill you. One is the 2 new cameras, so you have to keep track of them. You have a power supply. You have a temperature gauge. You have a new laser system that apparently he can just shut off your power in the back system, and the 3 new cameras that you get at 4 a.m. You get, of course, the thing that's going to attack you if you go to heat up. Can we all agree that that one is stupidly hard? Because if we can agree on that, and I can get a pass, to just skipping over this one, I beat the first night. I beat the one that was supposed to be beat, not the second night.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my genuine and honest reaction and my live reaction to playing One Night at Flumpty's 3. However, I did tell you that I was going to get you footage of what happens when you beat it. So what happens when you beat it? Well, it's very simple. Flumpty holds his part of the promise. He opens up the door, letting us leave. We get to walk outside, see birds flying, get to see the great outdoors. Get to see how civilization didn't miss us. We get to see the city life, the sunset, skyscrapers. We get to see paradise again. We're no longer being held captive, forced to play a game that we didn't want to play. And then, that is it. That is the end of the entire series. Now, if you had asked me, when it comes to One Night at Flumpty's 3, this game was probably the worst gameplay wise. When it comes to art styles, it was amazing. However, if I had to rank the entirety of this series, it goes as it currently is. One Night at Flumpty's 2 is the best. One Night at Flumpty's 1 is middle tier. And when it comes to worst, One Night at Flumpty's 3 currently has that booked. Now, if I was to put the entire series, One Night at Flumpty's, against all the other games that I've played, I will unfortunately say the game A Bite at Freddy's has all 3 of these games beat. So, here's my current order of the games I've played. But if you want to disagree with me, please tell me in the comments. If you made it this far, please subscribe, please hit the like, give me feedback on what you feel like I should do to make things a little bit better. And of course, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.